All right, here we're now with Coach Dupuy as we kind of get ready for another week. A little bit of a lighter load this week, and it's a home week, Thanksgiving, all of this, so that's always good. Before we get to LSU West, so talk to me about Texas Tech. We mentioned and talked after the broadcast that some good stuff from that second half. So now that you had a couple of days to kind of look back on it, what were the biggest things that you took away from that game?
You know, there were spots where we saw what we can actually be when we put it all together. There was times where we were good on both ends of the floor. We held them to 20 points under their average. We actually had them at 63 points with about 6 minutes left, and they finished the game on that 16-6 run. But, you know, did a lot of good things. I think we played very physical. The thing is, we got to finish plays, especially off the glass. Executed a little bit better in the second half, held them to 31 points in the half. They've had quarters where they've scored 36 and 30. So a lot of positive things. We just have to make sure that we don't dig ourselves that type of hole, realize that when we implement a game plan, we can play with a team like that. And so we talked about it a lot on Saturday, had a really good film session yesterday and a good practice, and just had another good practice this morning.
Yeah. You know, looking at it and looking at the season thus far, you know, we've talked about how the turnovers have been there that you've wanted. Rebounding has been sort of a bugaboo so far, been out-rebounded in every game thus far. I mean, you know, Texas Tech, they had the 6'5", they had the size sort of stuff, but, I mean, does that just boil down to, like you said, being more physical around the glass?
It does, but also there were several times, even against Texas Tech, where we had one hand on the ball, and we're going after balls with one hand. We've got to be two-handed rebounders. We've got to be strong with the ball. We've got to do our work early. We've got to keep people out of the paint that are crashing. And we've got to do a better job of consistently crashing on the offensive end. You know, we've had games where we've had 20-something offensive rebounds but still got out-rebounded. So we've just got to be more consistent on both ends, realize that it's not about size when it comes to rebounding, it's about want to. And you know, if you want the basketball, you'll go get the basketball. And it's a mentality thing and one we've got to change.
Yeah. Does that kind of maybe bleed over into the shooting stuff as well? I mean, just getting the mind in the mode to get the rebound or make the shot?
Yeah, and we've talked about how our shooting is a mental thing right now. We're very capable. There's no way that I thought we would shoot this poorly this early. I thought we had a lot of shooters on the floor, a lot of people that could create off the bounce, get to the rim, and we haven't shot it well. And we've got people that are coming in early, coming in to get extra work with their coaches. We shoot a bunch every single day in practice, after practice. So it's not the fact that they're not getting their reps. So it has to be a mental thing right now. And, you know, we addressed after practice this morning that very rarely do I look at somebody and say that was a bad shot. I don't think we take a lot of bad shots. I think in our Texas Tech game, I considered 3 out of our 60 whatever shots bad shots. So we've just got to do a better job of taking the shots we want, but being confident, know that we've repped it so much that it's going to go in. And if I'm a shooter, the next one's always going in, and that's the mentality we've got to have.
Yeah. Another thing we talked about after the game was how Julia stepped up in that Texas Tech game. So to kind of, you know, and we talked about depth and that sort of stuff at the beginning of the year. So to have her play like she did against Texas Tech, I mean, It's got to be a big encouragement to know that you can throw her in through the rest of the season.
Definitely, and she gives us a physical presence. She's got a great body. You know, she scored around the basket. Her very first possession where she came in and actually took the ball from one of their stronger post players and then got an and one. That's the mentality we got to have, but it's got to be there more consistent. She's worked on scoring with both hands, but she's got to be that post presence, and we're going to work her into the starting lineup and just see what she does. Continue to be physical, continue to understand the scheme. Just give us 2, 3, 4 minutes as hard as you can possibly go, score around the basket, rebound the ball, run the floor, make it simple, just to give us that post presence, and hopefully we'll continue to see her grow.
Yeah. Talk about LSU coming in. They won a few games already. They got some talent around on the floor. So what have you seen from them?
You know, they're very athletic. Have a couple transfers that have come in and given them some length and some skill. Play extremely hard, change up their defenses. I think, you know, they're going to see our shooting percentage and make us prove ourselves. They run a 2-2-1 press, which we also run, and they'll go back to 2-3. We also play man. So they're going to do some things defensively to kind of keep you off balance. And they're very athletic on the offensive end. They're 4-2, new coach, new culture. So it's going to be a very tough game. We've got to come in ready to play on Wednesday.
Next 2 games are at home. Like I said, the LSU this week, Grambling next week, and you play Arkansas and then conference. So, it's crazy to think about. It's already here. Over the next 2 games specifically, especially since they're at home, what are you hoping to see the progress in this team?
We've got to, again, it's always process over results, and we've got to win every single day. Because the games are so spread out, you have a chance to really grow as an individual player and as a team, add a lot of different things scheme-wise. So we can't worry about games when there's so much time in between. We've got to get better as a team every single day, and then as the games approach, we'll start implementing game plans. But this is a time where we could really see a lot of growth, especially once you get to the Christmas break and all you have to worry about is basketball. So hope to see a lot of individuals step their game up, improve their skill set, a lot of stuff being added to our scheme. And every time out, because we have so much time in between, hopefully you see a better and better product out on the floor.
So do you feel like this, kind of more spread out schedule is just going to be nothing but benefit going forward?
I hope so. I do see that. We as coaches have to make sure that we're smart with how we practice them, because rest is just as important. But I think it's definitely going to benefit us. I think we've got to do everything we can to win these next 2 home games and start feeling good about yourself. Go on the road and play a really good Arkansas team who can score the basketball. And I think if you're playing confident within the next 3 games, you're going into conference really feeling good about yourself and hopefully making Christmas a little bit better.
That's right. All right, Coach, we appreciate you, and we'll talk to you again after the game on Wednesday.
Thank you, and Forkham Demons.